Picture this. You are standing on a sidewalk in Midtown Manhattan.
Right.
It is a brutal, like triple-digit New York City heat wave. But you are not going anywhere because just down the block, these massive 18-wheelers are quietly unloading supplies into Madison Square Garden.
Which is just wild to visualize.
Right. And inside that arena is a 1,000-person guest list, all wrapped up in these ironclad non-disclosure agreements. I mean, usually an arena that size is broadcasting whatever is happening inside to the entire world. But today, it is a total fortress.
A completely locked down, impenetrable fortress in the middle of, honestly, one of the busiest, loudest, most intrusive cities on Earth.
Literally.
And yet, despite the legal threats, despite the physical barricades, it's still sprung a leak.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because today we are doing a deep dive into the viral aftermath of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's fiercely guarded wedding.
Finally. I have been waiting to get into this all week.
Same. And for this deep dive, we've got a really fascinating stack of independent gossip and pop culture sources to pull from because the mainstream outlets were locked out.
Completely locked out.
So we are looking at leaked 32-second clips that just exploded on X and TikTok. We have some vague but very revealing tabloid reports from the Daily Mail and Page 6.
Yes, the car photos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus just massive amounts of online social media sleuthing from independent creators.
Yeah.
And my absolute favorite, an incredibly quickly deleted post from a Fortune 500 CEO.
Which we will definitely be getting into.
Oh, we have to. So our mission today for this deep dive is to figure out how the ultimate celebrity fortress got breached. We also want to look at how on earth you engineer an arena to feel intimate and what this massive cultural moment tells us about the mechanics of modern fame.
I love that because the breach itself is really only significant if you understand the architecture of the wall, right?
Exactly. And wait, I actually struggle with this part. How does a private citizen, even a billionaire pop star, get 135 NYPD officers to shut down public sidewalks in Midtown Manhattan on a weekend?
It's a lot of cops.
Right. Like, New York famously refuses to bend for anybody. Are they just writing a massive check to the city to make public space disappear?
Well, it's a mix of private funding and city permitting. But what's fascinating here is that it points to this much broader phenomenon. It is basically the privatization of public infrastructure for elite events.
Okay, wait, explain that a bit more.
Sure. So when you reach a certain echelon of fame, your private milestones literally become civic events. The city essentially calculates that the cost of not securing the area, like dealing with the potential crowd crush of hundreds of thousands of fans, is far worse than just granting the permits to shut it down.
Oh, I see. So it's a public safety issue for the city.
Exactly. But there is a psychological layer to this that is even more interesting to me. By locking down an event of this magnitude so visibly, by throwing up physical barricades and wrapping the venue in police tape, you aren't just protecting the event.
You are drawing attention to it.
Right. You are actively amplifying the public's obsession with it. The secrecy itself becomes the spectacle. It's like the spectator sport of secrecy.
Oh my gosh, I love that phrase. The spectator sport of secrecy. It is like they built a dam. By restricting official access, they built up this incredible reservoir of demand.
And then you throw in the NDAs.
Yes, the NDAs. You have nearly 1,000 guests who had to sign away their right to post, describe, or even hint at what they saw.
Which is standard for a celebrity wedding, but...
But look at who was in that room. It is a guest list entirely made up of the most online people on the planet. I mean, comedians, pop stars, NFL executives.
People whose entire economic model is based on monetizing their daily routines.
Exactly. Can you really enforce an NDA on 1,000 professional overshares?
Statistically, it is a total nightmare. You are asking people who have spent their entire lives turning their private experiences into public content to suddenly just become silent observers.
Which goes against their basic instincts.
Completely. But for the better part of 2 days, that dam actually held. I mean, the guests played by the rules.
They really did. They gave these very vague, glowing descriptions to the press. Things like, it was a beautiful night, or it was so magical, but they didn't offer a single architectural or emotional detail.
Which, following your dam analogy, just increased the pressure behind the wall.
Totally. You had fans standing in that triple-digit heat for hours just to watch blacked-out SUVs pull away from the arena.
They couldn't even see who was inside.
Not a single face. And the production team actually leaned into this external spectacle.
Oh, they orchestrated it.
They did. When the ceremony wrapped, they engineered this massive reveal. Billboards all around the outside of Madison Square Garden suddenly lit up in purple with JSTN TMRD.
Just married, minus the vowels.
Yes, the classic Taylor vowel drop. And then literally a few blocks away, the Empire State Building turns blue.
Which is such a massive architectural nod to the tradition of having something blue.
And as if the universe was in on the PR strategy, a summer rainstorm rolled in over the city right as the lights shifted.
You literally couldn't script it better.
You really couldn't. For a minute, it looked like they had pulled off the impossible. But that massive external reveal with the Empire State Building actually backfired, I think.
How so?
Well, by turning the secrecy into a citywide spectacle, they practically dared the internet to dig deeper. They essentially issued a challenge to independent gossip accounts and fan sleuths.
Oh, absolutely. They gamified it.
Right. And within 48 hours, the dam broke. The internet just shattered. Which brings us to the actual media that bypassed the NYPD and the NDAs.
The leaks. And what is really crucial to understand here is that they didn't start as a flood. They started as a trickle.
But a highly revealing trickle.
Very revealing.
So the first piece of evidence that surfaces is this video obtained by the Daily Mail. And it is just 32 seconds long.
It is so short.
But in those 32 seconds, you see a hallway completely lit in pink and peach.
Yeah.
There's a giant TNT monogram marking the spot.
Taylor and Travis, obviously.
Obviously. And Candy Staten's disco anthem, Young Hearts Run Free, is echoing in the background. Plus, the walls are lined with these incredibly intimate, previously unseen photos of the couple.
Now, what is brilliant about that 32-second clip is how it functions in the modern attention economy.
Right, because it wasn't an official release.
Exactly. A low-fidelity, shaky smartphone video feels inherently more authentic to a fan than, like, a highly polished, high-resolution official photograph released to Vogue or People magazine.
Because it feels slightly forbidden.
Yes. We don't know the source of the video. Was it a hidden phone? Was it a rogue florist? Or maybe a production crew member who wasn't bound by the exact same strict guest NDAs?
Whoever it was, the blurriness of the video guarantees its virality. It feels unmeddled with. It feels like the truth.
It's raw.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Once that first clip leaked, it acted as a controlled pressure valve.
The floodgates opened.
They really did. More leaks followed almost immediately. Page 6 gets footage of a burgundy 1970 Chevelle SS convertible being loaded onto a truck.
And that is the exact same car model tied to the very early days of their relationship.
Yes. It was such a callback. And it had that custom JSTN TMRD license plate.
So good.
Then, actual still photos allegedly snuck out on someone's phone start circulating on X. We are talking vacation shots no one has ever seen.
Right.
Photos of them playing with a puppy. And most wildly, a shot of Travis down on one knee proposing.
Which is insane that someone got a photo of that out. Because the official sources were maintaining absolute radio silence, the public had literally no choice but to crowdsource the narrative.
Right, the independent creators just took over.
Fans were dissecting these blurry frames on TikTok and X, analyzing them pixel by pixel. When you completely restrict high-quality information, you don't kill the demand.
You just forced the public to become forensic investigators.
Exactly. Every single pixel becomes a clue.
And the greatest clue of all didn't even come from a blurry TikTok.
Yeah.
It came from Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC Theaters.
Oh my gosh.
I have to say, this is the most baffling and hilarious part of the entire story to me.
It is a remarkable twist. It really is.
He was one of the 1,000 guests, and he just posts this highly detailed description on his social media.
Just totally unprompted.
Unprompted. He talks about how everything, the floors, the walls, the ceilings, was draped in peach and white. He describes these blown-up childhood photos from age 1 all the way to their late teens.
Which perfectly corroborated the blurry hallway video.
Exactly. He eventually deletes the post. But as we all know, on the internet, deleting something is just another way of highlighting it.
Oh, the internet already screenshotted it 1,000 times.
So you have a Fortune 500 corporate executive's deleted tweet inadvertently serving as the primary source for independent gossip news.
It illustrates the equalizing power of modern celebrity so perfectly.
How do you mean?
Well, you can manage the catering staff, right? You can confiscate phones from the servers. But fame flattens everyone. Even a billionaire CEO becomes an excited fanboy when put in a room with that level of cultural gravity.
That is such a good point.
He just couldn't resist the social currency of proving he was there. He had to let people know.
But if we move past how the information got out, we really need to analyze what that information actually revealed about the interior of Madison Square Garden.
Let's do that, because transforming that space is no small feat.
No, we have to talk about how they managed to make a 20,000-seat concrete sports arena feel like a cozy backyard wedding.
The aesthetic details are staggering.
Staggering. The seats, like those iconic, unavoidable blue MSG seats that everyone knows, were completely covered in nude-colored fabric.
Just the physical labor involved in upholstering an entire arena for one night is mind-blowing.
And that wasn't even the craziest part. There were towering trees brought inside the arena.
And trees.
Real trees. Emerald green drapery hanging from the ceiling. A soaring, chapel-like structure built with gray archways.
And reports also describe what they called a garden inside the garden.
Right.
They specifically designed a space to recreate the exact spot where Kelce proposed the previous August.
That is so sweet.
And on the lower level, they actually built a fairground theme complete with mechanical games. So they didn't just rent an arena, they built a highly personalized, deeply sentimental universe inside of it.
Okay, I hear that. But let me push back on the word personalized for a second.
Okay.
Look at the guest list. You have Steven Spielberg, Paul McCartney, and Hugh Grant.
True.
You have Tom Brady, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and Andy Reid. Stevie Nicks is there, and she is actually performing.
A literal legend.
Right, so it sounds less like a personalized family wedding and more like the Oscars, the Super Bowl, and the Grammys just decided to hold a joint summit meeting.
I completely get what you're saying.
How does a room with 1,000 A-listers maintain any real sense of intimacy?
Well, that is the core paradox of this entire event.
Okay, unpack that for me.
The grandeur of the guest list and the venue was deliberately counterbalanced by these fiercely anti-traditional, hyper-personal structural choices.
Like what?
For instance, consider the bridal party. In a wedding of this scale, you might expect 20 bridesmaids and groomsmen, right?
Oh, easily.
Instead, they had no traditional bridal party at all.
Wait, really?
Yes. Her brother, Austin Swift, was her man of honor, and his brother, Jason Kelce, returning the favor from his own wedding, was the best man.
Just the two brothers?
Just the two brothers standing up there with them.
Okay, I see your point. That is a massive grounding element. It brings the whole stadium-sized spectacle right back down to just family.
Exactly.
And the efficient choice does the exact same thing, because Adam Sandler officiated the wedding.
Which is such a brilliant subversion of expectations.
It really is. You would expect a high-profile politician or maybe a prominent religious leader for an event this massive. Choosing Sandler, who, by the way, just gave Travis a cameo in Happy Gilmore 2, sends a very clear signal to the room.
It says we do not take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly.
Precisely. And witness accounts from people like George Stephanopoulos and Robin Roberts really back that up.
What do they say?
They describe the ceremony as real, vulnerable, serious, but also silly. They didn't read standard cookie-cutter vows. They read from these small personal vow books.
Oh, I love that.
And one guest account that leaked to an independent blog revealed that a specific detail in Swift's vows actually left Kelce in tears.
Wow. To make a giant NFL tight end cry in front of 1,000 of the most famous people on earth, that takes genuine vulnerability.
It really does. But there is another layer to this intimacy, which is how the wedding was designed to communicate directly with the fans watching from the outside.
Oh, the Easter eggs.
Yes. If you are listening to this, you've probably heard the term Easter eggs applied to her music. Well, she basically Easter egged her own wedding.
It is cultural sociology at play.
Exactly. Swift has trained her audience over years to read symbols, so when Selena Gomez shows up wearing a fitted, beaded golden gown,
the fans instantly recognize it.
Right. They realize it is the exact color Swift wore as a bridesmaid at Gomez's wedding the previous September.
That is such a deep cut. And then there is the fact that Karlie Kloss was there.
Oh, that broke the internet.
Her RSVP alone functioned as a press release. It effectively ended years and years of independent gossip rumors about a huge rift between them.
It's turning a private, offline moment into a puzzle. And that puzzle is designed to reward the parasocial loyalty of the fans who are decoding it online.
Which perfectly explains why the reaction to these leaks felt so different from typical paparazzi photos.
How so?
When fans saw this footage, it didn't feel like consuming gross tabloid gossip. It felt like they had accidentally opened a close friend's private photo album.
Because the emotional investment of this specific fan base literally cannot be overstated.
Not at all.
You are dealing with an audience that has scrutinized her public dating history for well over a decade. They have attached their own emotional journeys to hers.
I really want to dig into that because the phrase close personal friend was everywhere online that weekend.
Everywhere.
Fans who have literally never met her were posting on TikTok about how happy they were that their quote-unquote close personal friend was having the best day.
Yeah, it was a massive trend.
You had people admitting they used to hide being a fan when they were kids, and now they felt validated seeing her end up with someone who so publicly celebrates her.
It is a full circle moment for them.
If you're listening to this, you might have even felt that weird twinge of pride yourself when you saw the leaks. But why do millions of strangers feel emotionally validated by a celebrity wedding? Is this just the ultimate, slightly terrifying evolution of the parasocial relationship?
I honestly don't think it's terrifying. I think it is just the natural result of a 20-year narrative strategy.
Make that make sense for me.
Well, Swift has spent 2 decades turning her life into a shared, serialized story through her songwriting. Her fans weren't reacting to a random gossip headline. They were reacting to what felt like the series finale of a television show they have been religiously watching for 15 years.
Oh, that makes total sense.
They felt like they had earned a seat at the table, even if that seat was just behind a smartphone screen looking at a leaked 32-second clip.
Because it is the internet, the profound emotional reactions were immediately mixed with just absurd humor.
Oh, the memes were incredible.
People were joking that based on the sheer volume of the guest list, she literally invited everyone she has ever spoken to in her entire life.
Which is fair, given it was 1,000 people.
Right. One fan pointed out the complete randomness of Ellie Goulding and Graham Norton being at the exact same event.
Which is humorous, but it also reflects a, quote, Swift gave months earlier, hinting she wanted everyone she'd ever hung out with to be there.
But the disruption to the actual city was very real. And this is where the scale of this whole thing gets almost comical.
The power outage rumor.
Yes. Con Edison, the major power company in New York City, actually had to issue a public statement denying that the wedding production caused a local power outage.
It is so funny.
Residents near MSG lost power and immediately took to social media to blame the wedding lights and the massive security apparatus.
That is the absolute definition of a cultural footprint.
Seriously.
When a municipal utility company has to issue a press release clarifying that a pop star's wedding didn't take down the local power grid, you have transcended celebrity news entirely.
You are functioning on the level of civic infrastructure.
Exactly.
It's staggering. But as massive as this all was, the 18-wheelers, the Empire State Building, the power grid rumors, the timeline snapped back to brutal reality almost immediately after the weekend ended.
It was a very sharp pivot.
Which brings us to the aftermath and what I think is the potential master plan behind all of this.
The transition back to reality was incredibly sharp because there was no grand, immediate honeymoon.
No.
The NFL calendar and the music industry calendar do not easily align.
Right. Barely a week after throwing the biggest wedding of the decade, they were scheduled to attend another wedding in California.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes. Travis's Chiefs teammate was getting married. It is such a bizarre juxtaposition. Going from being the absolute center of the universe, holding court at Madison Square Garden, to just being a regular guest at your buddy's wedding a few days later.
Eating regular wedding chicken.
Exactly. And then immediately after that, Travis has to report to NFL training camp.
Because the NFL calendar famously does not bend for anyone, not even the league's most famous tight end. He has a day job to return to.
So the honeymoon plans became a total mystery. TMZ reported they aren't taking a mini honeymoon before heading west. Other outlets are claiming they're going to Lake Como in Italy, or maybe the Bahamas.
It's all speculation.
But looking at the PR machinery we've just broken down, it seems highly likely these reports are just decoys.
Oh, 100%.
Deliberately planted to throw off the paparazzi. It is the one part of the story that hasn't leaked yet.
And that strategic silence leads us to the biggest rumor of all.
The documentary.
Yes. The rumor that, if true, completely recontextualizes this entire deep dive in everything we've talked about today.
Okay, let's get into it. Entertainment journalist Mike Gunn claimed that he was told by people close to the production that the wedding was professionally filmed by Swift's own team.
Which would make a lot of sense.
It really would. He suggested that a full streaming special could be released later this year, possibly timed around the release of her next album.
Which, we should note, would follow her 15th studio album that just moved a staggering 4 million equivalent units in its first week.
Just astronomical numbers.
NYU professor Brittany Spanos even suggested new music is likely on the way, given how often Swift folds her personal milestones into her creative eras.
So this raises a massive structural question about modern fame.
It really does. If there is a professionally produced multi-camera documentary sitting in a vault right now, What does that say about the leaks we've spent the last 20 minutes analyzing?
This is exactly what I was wondering when we talked about the pressure valve earlier. It connects perfectly back to her historical playbook.
She is a master of the narrative timeline.
She is. So if this documentary is real, I have to ask, were these unauthorized leaks, the 32-second clip, the deleted CEO tweet, the blurry photos of the Chevelle, were they actually just a free, organic appetizer for the main course?
A calculated way to build insatiable demand before she sells us the high-definition version on her own terms.
Exactly.
I mean, it is entirely plausible. The tension between the unauthorized leaks and the official silence is an incredibly powerful marketing tool.
Because right now, the public narrative is built entirely on fragments.
Right. We have the dress that nobody has officially photographed in high resolution. We only saw it blurry.
We have the vows that nobody can quote verbatim.
We just know they made Travis cry. That standoff, that negative space between what leaked and what didn't, might be exactly where her team wants the story to sit for now.
It keeps the public hungry.
Because it keeps us talking about it.
You watch this unfold, and you are getting a real-time lesson in how secrecy creates demand.
A masterclass.
Truly. By locking down Madison Square Garden and putting up barricades, they guaranteed that every single grainy photo and 32-second clip would be treated like absolute gold by the gossip blogs.
It proves that true PR power isn't just about keeping a secret.
No, it's about deciding exactly when, where, and how to cash in on the demand that the secret creates.
It is a delicate, brilliant balance. They managed to create a monumental, city-stopping celebrity spectacle while somehow, through all the noise, preserving a core of genuine intimacy.
Like Austin and Jason standing up as the only bridal party.
Or reading vows from those little notebooks.
It has been such a wild journey to unpack today. I mean, from a sweltering New York sidewalk to an emerald garden built over a hockey rink to a viral TikTok clip that broke the internet all over again.
It really has. But I'd like to leave you with one final thought to mull over as we wrap this up.
Oh, I'm ready.
If that professionally produced wedding documentary does drop on a streaming platform in a few months and we finally see the perfect multi-camera angles of the vows and the designer gown, will we look back and realize that the most fiercely private wedding of the decade was actually just the opening marketing campaign for the next era of her career?
Wow.
And if we do realize that, if the privacy was ultimately commodified for a streaming release, does it make the romance we saw in those blurry leaked photos any less real?
Now that is something to think about. Until next time, keep digging deeper.